who I am. You've seen me before. You probably have, right? You were Victorian, okay. For those of you who are trying to remember, yeah, I was the beatboxer. Anyway, you didn't know that, yeah, I beatbox. But yeah, oh. Revelation, okay. Okay, next question. How many of you don't like Disgrace? Just raise your hand. Just be honest. How many of you don't like Disgrace? It's a bit of a disgrace. It's a bit of a disgrace, really. First of all, before I begin, I just want to tell you that Disgrace, right, is the book that almost single-handedly converted me to literature and philosophy. Yeah. But when I first read the book, I had no freaking idea what was happening in the book. Like, oh, okay. So I know the guy's David. He plays some dogs, and then his daughter gets raped, but we never see the rape. He's very paranoid, and yeah, that's about it. Yeah, and he doesn't like claps. And then the last thing is like, yes, I am giving him up. But I've come a long way since. So it's the book has stayed with me for about 3 years now. Every year I go back to it, 4 years actually, and every year it gets better and better. And what I hope to share with you, because I believe different people have different takes on the book. So for those of you who are not so fascinated with the book, I hope some of this will help you get through the book. For those of you who enjoy the book or on whatever scale it is, I hope yeah, it will affect you in some way. Don't copy anything, okay? Because I will find a way to get it out to you with notes at the bottom also, because I just like to share what I love about this book. Maybe just take notes, page numbers, whatever, but don't copy too much. My appeal to you is to kind of follow my train of thought today. Yeah. Otherwise, I could just send you the slides via Mr Teo, and I will have to show up. Right. Okay. So, imagining empathy and endings. Last year, I actually talked about responsibility and dignity. Is it too late to educate the eye? A lot of people like to throw this question around in their essays. Is it too late to educate the eye? In the conclusion, like, very nice. Is it too late to educate the eye? Oh, then I got a nice flavor to it. Okay, but today I hope to give different perspectives on this issue, and particularly I want to highlight the issue of empathy. I hope it's something that's relatable to everyone, or whether you try to make it, package it a little bit simpler for you, because it can get a bit complex in Disgrace. Okay. Is it too late to educate the eye? Yeah. Right. Yeah, is my camera on? Is it on? Oh God, hi. Okay. Yeah, I just want to record myself so that I can see how I look 20 years later. Okay. Yes. Thank you. So the answer is not as easy as black or white. It really isn't. And this is what I hope you will kind of aspire to in your Disgrace essay. That it's not just either or. There's a lot of gray area in Disgrace, and you kind of have to grapple with the gray area. Okay. So let's see. The quote that started it for me goes something like this. And this really means started it for me. I mean, when I was in J1, I was really captivated by this. You watch the movie before? Watch the movie before? Then it's like lecture in a lecture, right? That we cannot live our daily lives in a realm of pure ideas, cocooned from sense experience. The question is not how can we keep the imagination pure, protected from what sort of reality. The question is, can we find a way for the two to coexist? Yeah, and then after that, the whole lecture one doesn't get what he's saying at all. Okay, but I want you to keep this in mind, imagination and reality, and how they can kind of coexist in Disgrace, and where empathy plays a part in it. And the ending, why the ending? Because we will be looking at, so by the time we reach the end of the novel, how does he fare? Okay, yeah. So this is this is kind of a side question. How successful has David been in achieving this coexistence for himself? It's a side question. It's not my main question actually. Later I will show you the actual challenge. Okay, that that it's all about. It's in the Mont Blanc lecture, which really, really fascinates me still. Okay, so from a bare ridge, if you are familiar with the lecture, from a bare ridge, here's what we'll be getting through today. Lecture in the lecture. So I need to set the context for you. I need to kind of grasp what is it I'm talking about, and the battle to lose yourself. That's really when he tries to empathize. And then we will go towards the end. 4 and 5 is basically centering around chapter 23 and 24. And then over the course, I will kind of like name drop events and so on and so forth. And I hope it kind of like refreshes some things for you as well. And then lastly, I'll talk about Cross's challenge to us, just like a nice little flourish, you know, before the last leap of the temple. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you can see why I love this book, right? Okay, the lesson on Mont Blanc, okay, I had no idea what was going on when Mr. James Ho went through it the first time. But I want to pick up two things, the soulless image and the living thought. So now let's make it a little bit more concrete and understandable, not so cheap anymore. Huh? Okay, the soulless image, basically the soulless, you know, like it just doesn't care lah. It's just there. It's the image which is pretty much, could be the harsh physical reality of South Africa when we contextualize it. And then how does it match up with the living thought of David? Because most of us by now have the idea that David pretty much lives inside his head. Yeah, so the living thought, his imagination is stubborn, it's a bit conceited, it's a bit abstract also. And we're going to see how far does it go for him. Okay? Okay, the thing about the Mont Blanc lecture, right? Let's go to page 21 in your book. So on page 21, do you have any idea what is going on in that few lines? If you don't know, let me kind of like simplify it for you. Okay, basically William goes to the Alps, okay, and then he scales the peak and then of Mont Blanc, and then when he reaches there, he finds that the actual view kind of sucks. Like, oh, like that. I thought it was nicer. And then so he writes a poem about it, something like that. Yeah, so the soulless image is like just that mountain in front of him, it's just there. Oh, like that, yeah. Could have been better. It was nicer inside my head. Yeah, so, and then he tries to write a poem about how to reconcile both of that. So it suddenly gets very philosophical about it. And then, but actually, I think William was kind of pissed now. He was pretty pissed after he tried so hard. He climbed all the way to the top and it's so disappointing. But okay, we will kind of revisit this over the course of the lecture or so. Try to bear this in mind. I will try to also. It's not so easy to grasp it sometimes, but I'll try and get back to it every now and then. Okay, so the lesson, right? The lesson of Mont Blanc is actually in the form of a challenge. Yeah, the challenge is, well, in the next slide, it looks something like this. Slowly up. Bit of a statement, huh? Okay, the romantic poets, right? The romantic poets, basically what they thought was, okay, when you use your creative imagination, right, as a writer, you try and imagine your characters or your poems, and then that is our only means, only is a bit subjective, right? Our only means to enter the experience of another. So overcoming our isolation of others. So it's kind of a bit like, let's say you're a poet or a writer or whatever, you want to try and enter the experience of another person, like let's say someone you can't understand, like maybe your naggy grandmother. You try and see what it's like from her point of view. And then what the romantics are saying is that the creative imagination is the only way you can kind of access what your grandmother is thinking. Yeah, what you can't. Okay. Suffice to say that the romantics were very sensitive people, and they're in this age where they are rebelling against the idea of industrialization. So suddenly people are reduced to a function, and then they don't want that basically. So they want to empathize with people. It's a bit atas lah actually.